When Katrina took her daughter Rosalia to hospital with a bout of flu, she expected first world care. Instead, she says it was Russian roulette. Her beautiful 5-year-old never made it home. Today, the coroner said hospital delays left her with no opportunity for survival.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
Home videos to treasure.
Rosalia was just a little ray of sunshine. She was a happy-go-lucky little girl. She loved to be around people.
A happy, healthy little girl.
She was the life of the party.
She was just a bundle of joy.
She really was, yeah. She was a bundle of joy.
People say time heals. Has the past 2.5 years healed your pain?
No, definitely hasn't healed any pain. If anything, it's gotten worse. Time does not heal wounds, not when you lose a child. Every day just gets worse and worse.
Rosalia Spadafora was the apple of her family's eyes. Mum, Katrina.
She was just a special little girl.
On her 5th birthday, Rosalia came down with symptoms of the flu. Lethargic and listless, her family rushed her to Canberra Hospital. It was July 4, 2022. She never came home.
But I was in the best possible place with the best possible care. That was the tagline I kept getting fed all day.
Did you get the best possible care?
No, I did not.
Despite repeatedly asking for help, Katrina was told she had to wait.
My daughter got neglected that evening. All the delays, everything that happened. We had no communication with medical staff, no communication with nurses. My daughter just got moved from bed to bed.
With her daughter's condition worsening, Katrina became desperate.
We needed to get to Sydney. That just got delayed and pushed back. The ball started rolling when it was all too late.
And they could have saved her, couldn't they?
I definitely feel they could have saved my daughter. And I would not be here in this position right now.
Rosalia died the next day from myocarditis brought on by influenza A. Her family says the heart condition was undiagnosed.
You would think that a doctor, any doctor, doesn't matter if they're a paediatrician or not, would be able to diagnose that, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would think so. Essentially, she's a little adult. Last I checked, we've all got the same organs.
Mm. And no one picked it?
No one picked it.
Until too late?
Until too late.
The family lays the blame squarely at the feet of Canberra Hospital.
When you go there with a sick child, to me, essentially, it's Russian roulette. I got the bullet.
Today, 2.5 years on, Rosalia's parents are still traumatised. Her dad struggles to even talk about his little girl. For the past 20 years, the extended family ran a thriving Canberra restaurant. They've had to close because Rosalia's death devastated them all.
Just because it was too much heartache. We used to have family lunches there every Saturday after close. The kids would love to come and spend time there. It's just hard. Kind, loving.
The Spadaforas say their treatment at the hands of Canberra Health has been nothing short of atrocious. No communication, no accountability and no remorse.
I hope that someone will be held accountable. I hope the truth will come out. I know the truth and I just want to see a change in the health system, and I do want CHS to be held accountable.
But how would you describe the situation if you've got a sick child here in Canberra?
I would say go straight to Sydney. I wouldn't bother going to Canberra Hospital. To me, it's just, they don't take you serious. I mean, from triage right till the end, I wasn't taken serious.
The Spadaforas only learned the inquest findings were about to be handed down when a current affair contacted them.
But has anyone kept you up to date with what's happening with the inquiry or the investigation?
No. And we just have to sit tight.
Has Canberra Hospital in the past 2.5 years since Rosalia died, have they changed anything about what they do?
No, definitely not. They haven't changed anything. Nothing's changed.
And a lot of time.
The Spadafores know their heartache will never ease, but they want to ensure no other family has to go through the same thing.
I want to have a safe place for kids to go, to have the proper medical physicians, proper nursing staff. There's no point building a new hospital with no staff.
And for a mum to lose her little girl and your husband to lose his little girl.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could possibly cope with that.
Well, it's very hard. Every day, as I said, gets worse. It doesn't get any easier.
Love him, we miss you every day.
Rosalia's death has had a shocking ripple effect.
We have my nephew who's the same age, 2 months older, and they were like twins.
Oh dear.
He drew a picture the other day of Rosalia in her grave. So how does that make us feel?
Rosalia now lies alongside her great-grandfather, a little girl whose short life touched so many.
And Rosalia's family was there when the coroner handed down his findings today. Her mum, Katrina, joins me. Katrina, I know it was incredibly tough today. Did you get the answers you so desperately need?
Well, there's no closure. I keep getting asked the questions, do you feel like you have closure? No, there is no closure. Rosalia's not coming back. She's not coming back. She doesn't get her first days at kindergarten. She doesn't get her formal, at Year 12 formal. She doesn't get a graduation. She doesn't get a wedding day. My husband never gets to walk her down the aisle. So there's no closure. There's nothing. There's nothing.
Yep. There are all moments that she misses. There are also moments you miss.
That's right.
How was it hearing the delay in diagnosis and treatment meant, and I quote, any opportunity Rosalia had for survival was lost?
It makes me feel ill to know that any opportunity she had to survive was lost. From the moment that Rosalia got sick was on the 3rd of July. So that's 60 hours she lasted up till the time of death. So within 60 hours, something could have been done. She could have been saved.
It took more than 5 hours for Rosalia to be seen by a doctor. I mean, that should have happened within 30 minutes, Katrina.
That's right, 30 minutes. Triage level 3 should be 30 minutes. We didn't see a doctor for 5 hours, and we were just kept getting pushed aside, pushed back, pushed back, pushed back.
Now, this part's really hard to hear because there's so much in it. It then took 12 hours for Rosalia to be diagnosed with myocarditis. Her blood pressure wasn't taking. There were staffing issues. An ECG was misread. She didn't get a blood test in time. This wasn't just one mistake. It was a disaster.
It was a disaster. Essentially, Rosalia's life was on a post-it note. Her troponin result was on a post-it note, and it was stuck on the edge of a bed.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it. I mean, the system failed here at every term, and the cost of that was your daughter's life.
That's correct. And it was a beautiful life, let me tell you. She was a spark.
Yeah. And I think losing a child in any circumstances, I can't even begin to imagine, but knowing that it was preventable, that must be agonising, Katrina.
It is agonising. Ali, it's just something that we don't want to live with. It's very hard to go on with everyday life, trying to be here for the other children, for my son, for my nephews. Try to be here for my family. It's just a very hard life that we need to lead, and then we just have no answers and nothing.
Yeah.
To hold on to, and no accountability. We still do not have any accountability.
Well, you've said that you want Canberra Health Services to be held responsible for Rosalia's death. Do you think that happened today?
Well, only time will tell if they'll take the recommendation seriously and actually implement what the coroner had to say. But I will be keeping a close eye on this. This is not going to just end here.
No. And they've admitted that Rosalia had to wait too long to be seen, and they are deeply sorry for their failings. Do you accept that apology?
No, I don't accept that apology because they don't live my life every day without my daughter.
Mm-hmm. What would make it easier?
I would actually like to see a change. Nothing's ever going to make it easy, but I would like to be assured that other families can go with their loved ones, not just paediatrics, can go with their loved ones to the hospital and be taken care of, be properly assessed from the moment they get here to the moment that they're discharged.
I think that is what any family who rocks up with a sick child in hospital expects to happen. I know in this case the first 2 emergency doctors who looked after Rosalia had no paediatric training. One of them described her, and I quote, the sickest child he had ever looked after. Yet she wasn't treated that way, was she?
No, he tried to send us home. He told me that there was nothing wrong with her. And he did try to send us home without a blood test. And until me and my mother demanded that we needed some bloods to be taken, we're not going home, she's very sick. This poor little girl was limp. The members of the public that were in the hospital, they could see that. So I don't understand where this, like how a doctor, a trained nurses could not see that my little girl was dying in front of our eyes.
The coroner has made 4 recommendations, including having a nurse in emergency department waiting rooms 24 hours a day, and a review of the hospital's handover process because, as we know, so much information was lost or not passed on. Do you think that's enough to prevent another family going through this?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. The proof will be seeing what actually happens if they do implement that change. Hopefully it does.
And if all you're doing is trying to fight for your daughter to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else, but I feel like for the last 2.5 years that you've been treated like the enemy. You've been disrespected, you haven't been kept in the loop about the inquest that you had to fight hard to even have. Do you feel like you were a problem they just wanted to go away?
I think I do feel like a problem that they just want to go away, but it's just a fire in me that doesn't go out because I know that Rosalia needs her voice. And I will not be silenced for that because she was a little girl like no other. She was a little girl like no other, and her life meant everything to me. Yeah. And my life means nothing without her.
Well, you may well save someone else's life, Katrina, by fighting like this.
I hope I do. I hope I can make a difference, and I hope I can give confidence in other mothers and other people to go to the hospital and get the care they actually need and deserve.
She'd be so proud of you, I reckon, for fighting this hard.
She's hopefully watching down and is very proud because I am doing this for her.
Yeah. Well, I know this was really, really tough. I really appreciate your time, Katrina, okay? Look after yourself.
Thank you, Ali.
I don't know how she found that strength.